Morning, everybody. This is Stephen Pugh of the Home Bible College. This is another installment in the Pastors Course. This is video number 43. And video number 43 has a simple proposition. It is, don't pretend to be what you're not. Don't pretend to be what you're not. Okay? This is a very great temptation. Christ had a great deal to say about hypocrisy. In Matthew chapter 23, Jesus said to the crowds and to the disciples, the teachers of the law and the Pharisees sit in Moses' seat. So you must be careful to do everything they tell you, but do not do what they do, for they do not practice what they preach. They tie up heavy and cumbersome loads and put them on other people's shoulders, but they themselves are not willing to lift a finger to move them. When Jesus was teaching the people and the disciples, he said, you need to be careful to do everything that the teachers of the law and the Pharisees say. However, do not model how they live, because they don't practice what they preach. They load people down with burdens of law keeping, which they are unwilling to help to carry. They don't even lift the smallest finger to help them. Sadly, this is a potential problem for many leaders and especially for pastors. Pastors need to be totally sincere, not to preach one thing and to do something else. Christ continues, he says, everything they do is done to be seen. They make their phylacteries wide and the tassels of their garments long. They love the place of honor at banquets and the most important seats in the synagogues. They love to be greeted. With respect in the marketplaces, to be called rabbi by others. But you are not to be called rabbi, for you have one teacher, and all you are brothers. Do not call anyone on earth Father, for you have one Father, and he is in heaven. Nor are you to be called instructors, for you have one instructor, the Messiah. The greatest among you will be your servant. For those who exalt themselves will be humbled, and those who humble themselves will be exalted. Everything that the religious leaders do is to be seen by men, so that people will think that they're great people. They wear their traditional dress with wide straps and long tassels. They love to have places of honor at banquets and the most important seats in the synagogue. They love to be called rabbi or master. But Christ says you have only one rabbi and all of you are brothers. The greatest men among the leaders are those who serve best. Those who promote themselves will be brought down, but those that humble themselves will be raised up. Pastors must take note. It's so easy to slip into feelings of self-importance. The real ministry is to serve others. Christ continues pointing out lots of other faults. He says that the sure judgment of God will come on them because they shut people out of the kingdom of God, and they do not enter themselves, and they hinder those wanting to enter. He says you are so keen to make disciples, but you go to extraordinary lengths to win one convert, but then you make them the children of hell, twice as bad as yourselves. He says you make the most silly blunders of thinking. Christ calls them blind guides. They teach that if a person swears by the temple, it means nothing. But if they swear by the gold on the temple, then it is binding as an oath. He says, how foolish is that? Which is the greater thing, the gold or the temple? It's the temple that makes the gold sacred, not the other way around. We can only see why Christ had a problem with these guys. They were all fake. Everything was for show. It was all about pride, arrogance, and self-promotion. Now that is not what the Christian ministry must be about. So 3 questions for you. How much of what people see is the real you? When people see you, do they see who you really are? That's the question. Do you ever put on a show to impress people? That's a big thing, big thing. And thirdly, are you the same at home as at church? Are you the same? These are really very, very big questions, aren't they? And they're the sort of questions that will humble us. They're the sort of questions that will really make us think hard about what we feel God is doing in our ministry. So there we are. There we are, guys. Look forward to hearing your feedback on all this. Spend some time with the Lord and go through it with your heart. God bless you. See you next time. Bye for now.